Hello, welcome to the Small School Districts Association Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us today. Just a few quick housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your cameras and microphones are off, so the panelists can't see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening. Be sure to sign up for more if you haven't done so already at the same place you signed up for this one. This presentation is being recorded. It'll be available sometime early next week at strivescan.com/SSDA. Quick note, this is a 6x6 session. So what that means, if you don't know that already, 6 schools presenting for 6 minutes each. That is not enough time for you to learn everything there is to know about each school or to make an informed decision about where you're going to go. The idea of these is to give you a little bit to whet your appetite, if you will, for more information, to see what you're interested in so you can follow up and get one-on-one information from representatives or do a virtual tour or just find more information. So use this to just kind of get some ideas about each school so you know where you want to go on your next step. All right, I've gotten the housekeeping stuff out of the way, so I will step out of the way now, turn it over to our first presentation from Northern Arizona University.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm a bit of a Luddite, so I'm always impressed when I get this to work. My name is Tyler Sigler. I'm an assistant director with the University Admissions Office here at Northern Arizona University. I always like to start out by giving you a little bit of information about where we live, not only because it's important that you know what your community is going to be, but because we are not the traditional part of Arizona. We are the cool part of Arizona, quite literally. We live at 7,000 feet at the base of the San Francisco Peaks. We get all 4 seasons, and that does include winter. In fact, we get about 100 inches of snow every single year. If any of you are coming from warm weather climates, though, just please note that we don't get all 100 inches at the exact same time. 5 to 6 inches, the sun comes out, it melts, the whole process starts all over. That also means that our summers are exceptionally mild. In fact, we're the only city in the state of Arizona to never hit 100 degrees. If we hit 90 degrees, we're pretty sure we're going to die. We don't know what to do with that kind of heat. Most buildings in Flagstaff aren't even air conditioned because it just never gets that warm. We are about 145 miles north of Phoenix, about a 3.5-hour drive from Las Vegas, and about 8 to 9 hours from most parts of Southern California. We are within a 3-hour drive of 11 different national parks, including the Grand Canyon, just a little over an hour away. The permanent resident population of Flagstaff is about 75,000 people. You throw in the additional 21,000 students on our campus and the folks who live just on the outskirts of town, and we're a greater community of about 100,000 people. We are the smallest public university in the state of Arizona, and nearly 40% of our students come from out of state, and they do come from all 50 states. We have about 100 different majors for you to choose from. I do not have the time to go through all of those, but please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to send you a complete list of all of our majors. We are a Division I school playing in the Big Sky Conference, with the exception of women's swimming and diving, still Division I, but plays in the Western Athletic Conference. 400 different clubs and organizations, 7,000 student jobs, 17% of our students are part of sorority and fraternity life, or what used to be referred to as Greek life, plenty of things to keep you busy. We are a little unusual for a residential campus in that we do not require that students live on campus, though nearly 90% of our freshmen do, and 40% of our overall student population. There are 23 residence halls available for our students. The admissions process at Northern Arizona University is very simple and straightforward. So first, we are a rolling admissions university, which means in part that there is no deadline other than May 1st of your senior year. Please do not wait until May 1st of your senior year to apply, though we certainly have students who do every year. I strongly recommend that you submit your application during the fall semester of your senior year to help ensure that you do not miss any other priority dates or deadlines. We do not require essays, we do not require letters of recommendation, and we are test score optional. This was true well before COVID, in fact, almost a decade before. But now that it's become next to impossible for most students to take those exams, just know that we do not need them. They are not required. We do have about a 72% admittance rate. What we are looking at in the admissions process is how well you did in your primary academic classes in high school, or what we refer to as the core courses. So 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of lab science, 2 years of social science, 2 years of the same second language, and 1 year of fine arts or CTE. If you have a 3.0 and higher and all 16 of these core courses, you are automatically admitted to NAU. If you have below a 3.0, but still above a 2.5, and or you are missing 1 or 2 of these core courses, you're still considered for admission. It just takes a second round of review. The application will open up for next year's seniors right about July 1st this summer. Your application to the university really is a 2-in-1 application. It's your application for admission, of course, but it is also your application for scholarships. There is no secondary application that you need to fill out for these. I apologize if this slide is a little busy, but with 6 minutes, I'm trying to cram the most important things onto as few slides as possible. Being a public university, we do have 3 different tuition rates, one for our students from Arizona, one for students from our WUI states, and one for true non-residents. But all of these students, no matter where you're from, are automatically considered for scholarships. You can see there, if you're an Arizona resident, we've got scholarships for anyone between a GPA of a 2.9 and a 4.0, ranging from $2,500 a year to $8,000 per year. If you are from one of the states or territories that are in yellow on this very tiny map of the United States, you will automatically receive the Western Undergraduate Exchange or WUI tuition rate. No separate application, no GPA requirement, no test score requirement, and every major is eligible. But in addition to getting that WUI tuition discount, you are eligible for additional scholarships between $5,000 and $6,000 per year. And our true non-residents are eligible for scholarships of between $9,000 to $11,000. The university is open. We are doing virtual tours and limited in-person tours. We do have virtual presentations that will last about 45 minutes or so, giving you a lot more information than I was able to do in the past 6 minutes here. But please reach out to me if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Thank you very much. And you can reach out with questions using the Q&A button. You can do that at any time. If it's for a specific school, just make sure you name the school in your question. Up next, we'll hear from the representative from Prescott College.
Thank you so much. So, hi, welcome everybody today. I'll go ahead and share my screen here, make sure I've got it all up. Perfect. So hi, my name is Callum Peterson. I'm Assistant Director of Admissions at Prescott College, and I'm so excited that you're interested in learning more about our awesome school communities here today. So to start off, much like NAU, I do want to talk a bit about our location. So Prescott is a small private liberal arts university with a focus on social and environmental justice. We are located in Prescott, Arizona, a beautiful mountain town about an hour and a half north of Phoenix, up in the Bradshaw Mountains. We're settled right on the edge of the Prescott National Forest. Our location makes us a perfectly suited launching point for both our experiential field-based learning and all the outdoor activities that Prescott is famous for, such as hiking, rock climbing, backpacking, kayaking, etc. But Prescott College is not just about our awesome location. We are about our students. So the key principle behind Prescott College is to educate our students to make a living making a difference. Students who come to Prescott want to make a difference in the world, and that's why we call our students change makers. Our graduates go off to be the change they want to see in the world, becoming community organizers, founders and CEOs of non-for-profits, and even US senators. And our partnerships with organizations such as the US Forest Service, ECOSA Institute, AmeriCorps, US Veterans Association, and many, many more mean that our students are getting the career support they need to step right out into the jobs that they want. So Prescott supports our students towards this goal by taking a very different approach to education than a lot of schools that has won us several awards for innovation. First off, we are an experiential model school. That means that we put our students in classes that cap at 20 students. No class you have will ever have more than 20 students in it, and average 14. Students split their class time between hands-on based fieldwork and discussion-based Socratic seminars. And our students aren't assessed through 200 question multiple choice tests, but instead through projects, presentations, papers, and internships, allowing students to have greater direction over their learning. And because of our small class sizes, students are getting that direct learning support that they need that will make them successful. Secondly, we are a block schedule school. What this means is that students don't take all of their classes concurrently. They instead take 1 or 2 classes at a time for just 4 or 8 weeks. This allows for both a greater dive into their topic of study and more opportunities for field work and internships. All of this together makes students the drivers of their education, giving them the ability to not only direct their model of learning, but also having direct control over their degree. Now, speaking of degrees, we have a large number of undergraduate degrees. Yet again, can't go through all of them right now, so feel free to come by if you are interested. But our most popular degrees are environmental studies, sustainable food systems, adventure education, social justice studies, marine studies, psychology, education, arts and letters, and sustainability, which we are a top 10 school in the nation for. On top of that, we have dozens of master's and PhD programs. Yet again, some of our most popular ones are listed here on the screen. But one of the really cool things about all of our masters is that they're all available to be taken as an accelerated degree, where students can complete both their bachelor's and master's in just 5 years, rather than the traditional 6 or 7 that it would take you to do a bachelor's and a master's. And that's available to all students for all of our degrees. Now, another way that we encourage our students to take advantage of our hands-on learning is through a huge variety of remote and field-based blocks and semesters that we have. We have several international field stations that we own in places like Quino Bay, Mexico, right on the edge of the Gulf of California. It's actually the top marine studies field research station on the Gulf of California. We have a cultural and regional studies field station in Masailand, Kenya, on the Masai Mara, so the big safari lands that everybody knows. We have one in Telemark, Norway for alpine ecology and environmental management, and one in Costa Rica for sustainable development and ecotourism. We also have field blocks that go all over the US, so you can spend a block or even a whole semester in places like the Grand Canyon, Arches and Moab National Parks, and a lot more. Now, there's a billion other things that I think make Prescott College great, but I'll stick to just a couple here because of time. First one being holistic admissions. We aren't kind of yet again your traditional college in a lot of different ways, but one of them is admissions. Holistic admissions means that we are interested in getting to know who you are as a person, not just what your grades were in high school. For that reason, we do require students to submit their transcripts, but also an admissions essay and a personal reference. Oh, and our application is free because we never want finances to be a barrier to students applying to college. In terms of student life and housing, Prescott College has an incredible student community with dozens of student-run clubs, a beautiful campus, and we are just blocks off of historic downtown Prescott. We also have some incredible LEED Platinum certified housing for our students, and 99% of students who come to Prescott College receive institutional aid. And with our up to $25,000 per year merit scholarships, we're one of the most affordable private colleges around. And because we are a private non-for-profit, we don't have a difference between in-state and out-of-state tuition. So what to do next? Stay connected. Please email me, ask me questions in the chat, or just come by our website, prescott.edu, if you have more questions. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. And he mentioned questions. You can ask them. Use the Q&A button to do that, and then watch the chat for information that the representatives are sending you. Up next, Central Oregon Community College.
Hi all, my name is Sophia Straneri, and I am one of the admission coordinators here at Central Oregon Community College. I will just share my screen really quickly with you and we will get started. All right, so we are located in Bend, Oregon, but we do have 3 other campuses that encompass COCC as a whole. So we have Madras, Prineville, Redmond, and Bend. Bend is definitely our biggest one, but a cool little fun fact about us, we're the oldest community college in Oregon, which is super unique and kind of weird that most people don't think about. So we were established in 1949. Another thing we pride ourselves on is we have 100% acceptance. So you apply with us, spoiler alert, you will get in. And we do not take GPA, essays, test scores, anything like that. We also have a $1.72 million scholarship fund that we do sponsor students with, and community members donate, businesses. It's a really amazing opportunity for our students to pay for ultimately all their school at COCC. Another awesome thing is that our student to faculty ratio is 17:1. So what that means is our average class size is around 17 people. It can be smaller than that and it can be a little bigger, but I will kind of piggyback off of what Cal said, is that it really won't be bigger than 20, which is an amazing opportunity for you to get hands-on learning, knowing your professor, the professor is knowing you, and you have all this free space to ask questions as well. We have over 100 degree options at COCC, and we will go over some of them in a second. And a really unique thing we do offer is a residence hall on our campus. And around 330 students do live on our campus, and we're really excited to have that opportunity for students to have that campus feel and college life experience. So a little bit about Central Oregon. I'm a little biased. I'm actually not from Central Oregon. I'm from the Eugene area in Oregon, but when I moved here, I never left. So it is an amazing place for skiing, snowboarding, mountain biking, hiking, paddleboarding, all those fun outdoor things. And a lot of people don't really think of the high desert when they think of Oregon. They think of rain and kind of the grayness. But we do have a ton of snow here in Central Oregon, which is a big attraction. And of course, Mount Bachelor is another big attraction as well. So what are my options at COCC? We have a lot of career and technical programs, and then we have a transfer program. So career and technical programs are more focused for students who want that hands-on learning experience and who want to go to school for a short amount of time and then go straight into the workforce. For students who want to go on to the transfer preparation associate's degree, those are for students who want to get their prerequisites done with us and then transfer on to university to receive their bachelor's degree. So some examples we have for career and technical, and like I said, this is for you to just go straight into the workforce, receive either a certificate or an associate's degree with us. We have a ton of health career options, as well as an automotive program, manufacturing and welding. We even have a culinary program, which is super unique. Fire science, paramedicine, computer information systems. We have an aviation program as well, and criminal justice, just to name a couple. There are many, many more. For our transfer programs, these are programs we don't specifically have an associate's degree in. So if you are interested in any of these programs, you will take your prerequisites with us at a lower cost and transfer all those credits to a university to receive your bachelor's degree. Oregon State University Cascades is one of our partner schools, and a lot of students take classes with us and then transfer on really smoothly to their institution. So the cost breakdown, we have 3 different residency types, and that is a little confusing, so I'll explain it quickly. So we have in-district, out-of-district and border states, and then out-of-state. So in-district tuition is the Central Oregon area, and then out-of-district and border states are anything outside of that, and our border states do get in-state tuition, which is really awesome and a great opportunity for those border states to not pay out-of-state tuition. And then anything out of district and border states do pay out of state tuition. So there's multiple ways to pay for that. There is the FAFSA as well as the ORSA. And we do have a foundation scholarship, and that was that $1.72 million I was talking about earlier. That is our foundation scholarship fund. And we sponsor a ton of students. When I was a student at COCC, I got the scholarship and it paid for all my school, which is amazing. And I'm super thankful for that. So if you are coming our way, I definitely encourage you to apply for that scholarship. And then any local scholarships that you have in your community or your school can definitely come our way and pay for that tuition. Some resources we offer at COCC. We have a career center. I know when I was a student, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And a lot of students do feel that way, which is okay. And so our career coordinator can help you with having job shadows, or if you want to build a resume or a cover letter. And we have a bunch of different resources like free tutoring and on-campus housing, clubs, diversity and inclusion clubs, and sports and recreation as well. And another unique thing is our Wiki of Residence Hall, like I talked about earlier, and we are really proud to have that on our campus and offer that to students to have that college-like feel. I think I'm over, Russ, is that right?
Yeah, I think you've hit time, so thank you.
Yes.
And you can leave with contact info and all that. You can put into the chat for our attendees if you're so inclined. Also, attendees can ask questions using the Q&A. You can do that at any time as well. Up next, let's hear from Lewis and Clark College.
Hi, everyone. Okay, I'll get this up and posted. There we go. Oops. Okay, so Lewis and Clark, I guess I should introduce myself. I am Serena Fresina, Senior Assistant Dean of Admissions at Lewis and Clark, and I'm also an alumna of the college. Sorry, I'm gonna switch screens. That was was not showing up the way I wanted it to. There we go. Okay, sorry. Okay, so I am Serena Fresina, Senior Assistant Dean of Admissions at Lewis and Clark. I am also an alumna of the college, and I would like to, as quickly as possible, share as much as I can, but I'll also put a link to our virtual visits in the link in the chat afterwards. So as I mentioned, we are a pretty traditional liberal arts college. You can see that we've got about 2,000 undergraduate students, pretty small classes with the chance to really get to know and work with your professors. We do have 100% of our classes taught by faculty or taught by professors. You'll see here our majors, minors, I won't list them all, but they are pretty traditional liberal arts opportunities. And here's a little bit more about our community. We see that our students come from all over. So about 47 states represented, 60 nationalities represented, about 10% of our students are international students. And I'd like to point out our TCKs, or third culture kids, students from outside of their, who have been raised and gone to school outside of their home countries. A big piece of the Lewis and Clark experience is the chance to get involved outside of the classroom. We have 100+ clubs and organizations. Again, I won't list them all, but they range from our quirky clubs, fire arts, juggling club, our food related clubs, to our more academic focused clubs, our student run symposia on the subjects of international affairs, gender studies, race and ethnicity, and international affair and environmental studies. Can't remember which I said twice. We also have an athletics program, so 19 varsity sports with 10 women's and 9 men's sports. We compete in the Pacific Northwest Conference. We are a D3 school. We also have club and intramural sports. Typically, our most popular club sports include ultimate frisbee, lacrosse, men's soccer, and rugby. So we are in Portland, Oregon, just about 6 miles from the city center. You'll see in that Portland outline the campus, and then just above where it says downtown, you'll see the downtown area of Portland. We have a free shuttle that takes students back and forth, so very accessible to take advantage of all that the city has to offer. Another piece about our location, you heard a little bit about Oregon, but Lewis and Clark is really centrally located with access to wonderful parks, recreation, outdoors activities. We're just about 2 hours from the coast in one direction, about 2 hours from the mountains in the other direction. We do actually have a state park just on one side of our campus, Tryon State Park, so literally minutes from hiking trails. Lewis and Clark students tend to be fairly outdoorsy and want the chance to explore outside of course, the classroom, but also outside of the Portland metro area. So we have this program that takes students on outdoor excursions, backpacking, hiking, kayaking, or rafting. Over 90% of our students participate in one of these college outdoors trips. They also offer new student trips for incoming students, and then trips every single weekend of the school year, as well as alternative spring and fall break opportunities. A big piece of the Lewis and Clark experience is the opportunity to study abroad. So we see that 60% of our students spend at least a semester, if not a year abroad. Programs are very accessible, credits transfer automatically, and financial aid follows our students. So that means that any aid that you have covering the cost of your time at Lewis and Clark also covers those same costs for a semester up to a year abroad. For those credits, it fits right into your four-year program. You're not missing out on a semester of coursework to study abroad, but you're taking classes during your time abroad, and again, really building it into your Lewis and Clark academic experience. So a little bit about the application process. I know most of you are probably very early in that process, but we are a common application school. We have a holistic approach to admission. So we are considering all of these pieces in the required list to help understand who you are as a student and how you will fit academically and socially at Lewis and Clark. We do require teacher recommendation, of course, transcript, some information from your school, and the essay as part of the common application, as well as a question that asks you sort of how you will contribute or how you'll participate in campus life at Lewis and Clark. Test scores are optional. We have been test optional for over 30 years. We're one of the first to have gone test optional. So that's something completely normal, something that we are used to. It is not due to COVID. Like I said, we have been test optional. And then if there's more that you'd like to share about yourself, interviews are a great way to do so, but are also optional. So with that, I hope that you get the chance to learn a little bit more about Lewis and Clark. Check in with your admissions counselor. I work with our students from the County of Los Angeles and the state of New Mexico, but you can get in touch with your specific counselor. I'll also put my contact information in the chat if you have any additional questions. And I hope you'll check out our virtual visit.
Thank you very much. And again, ask questions using the Q&A. And she mentioned the chat, and take a look at that for information that the representatives are sending you, like links and contact information and such. Up next, we will hear from Reed College.
Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Howe. I'm an assistant dean of admission at Reed College. I'm just going to share my screen just like everybody else. Wonderful. Let's play this from the start. Great. Yeah, Reed College, 1,400 students in Southeast Portland. Let's talk about that a little bit. We are right across the river from downtown, about 15 minutes from downtown. One of my favorite parts about Portland is actually your ability to leave it. Once you leave the city, you are at Mount Hood National Forest, you're at the Columbia River Gorge, you're at the coast. It's really easy to have an experience where you are in an urban setting in the morning and then in the middle of nowhere in the afternoon. And truly, that's pretty rare for liberal arts schools. They tend to be in smaller, more rural areas. And so to have a liberal arts school in the middle of a relatively large urban environment like Portland is pretty great. It means that Portland becomes a part of your greater campus experience. So from Reed, you can get down to downtown Portland in about 15 minutes or so, but it's really easy to explore the entire city on foot even. Reed is located right in the middle of a canyon with Portland's last natural lake. This is one of the bridges that you can cross to get across the canyon. We have heron that live there. Beavers have nested throughout the area. We have salmon that will spawn through the area. And it roughly splits the campus in half, residential and academic. So this is a picture of what your mornings might look like, walking across the canyon to Elliott Hall for your first classes, wiping the sleep out of your eyes. We are a liberal arts school, meaning that you will take the entire breadth of disciplines that we offer while you are here. So about 1/3 of your classes will go towards your major. It means 2/3 of your classes are there for you to explore and discover and stretch yourself in new ways. You can put those towards your major if you would like, but we want you to try and touch down with a little bit of what we have to offer across the board. A little bit about that, 100% of our faculty is full-time. As far as I know, that's unprecedented, meaning that we don't have part-time or adjunct professors. 100% of our professors are there to help you as their primary job. And they all go by their first names. It's not Professor Chacon, it's Kelly. It's not Professor Savory, it's Pancho, because we want it to feel like a place we can bounce big ideas off of each other rather than some sort of academic hierarchy. One of the staples of the Reed experience is the thesis. Every student walks away with a written, published, defended piece of research within your field. This is our library here. All of those windows actually would peer into your thesis desk. So you get your own desk as a senior where you can kind of deck it out however you want so you're most successful in writing your thesis. We are a liberal arts institution, but we have a heavy emphasis on research here and a very informal way of getting involved as a research assistant, even as a first year. You usually have to just go up to your favorite professor and say, I noticed that you're into this kind of work. How can I help? And usually they say, absolutely. We'd love to have a research assistant, and you get paid for that work as well. So it's a really great way to get that experience with grad level research, even as a first or second year. 90% of your courses at Reed will follow a conference model of classrooms, which means that you and your peers really hold the reins to what the conversation is for the day. So there will be a professor in the room. Ideally, they're not saying much. They're moving the conversation when it needs to be moved and letting it be when it needs to be let be. We have a nuclear reactor on campus that any student can be certified to use and operate. So within a year, you could operate a nuclear reactor anywhere in the country certified by the US government. Don't worry, it is not powerful enough to even power anything on campus. It's just there for research. Our clubs are fully run by our students and 100% inclusive. That goes for our sports as well. No tryouts at any point. If you want to be on our fire dancing team, weapons of mass distraction, please be careful. You make me nervous, but welcome to the team. We have 90 clubs that are already established for 1,400 students. But if you don't see something for you, you can always make your own. Some of the things that we offer in and around the Portland area would be a ski cabin up on Mount Hood, free and open to all of our students. We have a rock climbing gym. We have a backpacking co-op. We have lots of different gear to get you out into the world as a Portlander and an Oregonian. As far as our dorms go, we guarantee housing to all freshmen and sophomores. And they tend to, some of our dorms have different themes, like the garden house, where you can tend to our gardens and harvest our orchards, or the canyon house that overlooks our beautiful canyon. This is the interior of one of our dorms. All of our dorms are singles or divided doubles, meaning that you would have a roommate, but within a larger suite, so you have your own room, so you don't have someone breathing on you all night, which is important. This is a rigorous institution. We're going to push you to see how much you can acquire in 4 years. We also know you're not a brain in a jar, which is why we have, in fact, a required PE course. And PE can go from, the high octane rugby, ultimate frisbee, it could be basketball, all the way to meditation or even community service. Couple of dates here. I'm going to go real quick through this. Early decision 1 is November 15th. Early decision 2 is December 20th. Early action would be November 15th. We are a test blind institution, meaning that we will not be looking at your scores, even if you send them in. And we are a financial aid need-based institution, meaning that 100% of your demonstrated need, we will pick up in full for all of our students. With that, if you want to go to reed.edu/visit or go to admission@reed.edu, you can find out more, but I'll put my information into the chat as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And check out the chat for all the information coming to you from our representatives, like contact info and links and that sort of thing. And use the Q&A to ask questions if you have any. Up next, we'll hear from Willamette University.
Great, hello and welcome. Let me get my screen all set up here for you. There we go. Okay, well, welcome. I'm very excited to be here talking to you today about Willamette University. My name is Caitlin Rice. I'm one of the Senior Assistant Directors of Admission at Willamette. And my hope here is that, oh, going too fast. My hope here is that these next few minutes will inspire you to get to know us a little bit more. I'll share a link at the end of my presentation for a virtual visit, which we are currently offering on a daily basis. Stay in touch for more in-person visit opportunities as we sort out all of our COVID kind of options for visiting in person. So Willamette is located in Salem, Oregon, the state capital. It's the heart of the beautiful Willamette Valley, which kind of you'll see extends from about Portland to Eugene. We're right here in the middle of it. Willamette is a liberal arts college. We're supported by graduate programs in business, law, theology, and soon to be the arts, given our merger with the Pacific Northwest College of Art. We're located in part of the country that's sought after for its natural beauty, its diverse ecosystems, outdoor opportunities, and many more places to explore. Willamette was established as the first university in the Western United States, west of the Mississippi. We were founded before Oregon was even a state. Willamette began to educate and shape innovative leaders right from the very beginning, including our very first graduate pictured here on the right, Emily York. I mention our history because it's important to understand Willamette's rich heritage in order to understand who we are now as an institution. Willamette's legacy of leadership and impact in the community is exactly what current Willamette students find here today. We are a place that turns knowledge into action. Willamette's motto grounds the Willamette experience in a very real way. That motto, "Not unto ourselves alone are we born," sums up what those early alumni knew from their time at Willamette. We're in the world together, and our education should be a time when we practice and explore how we will have an impact on others. We talk about the motto a lot, and we continually challenge ourselves to live it in new and varied ways. Willamette focuses on providing students both in and out of the classroom to practice the idea of the motto, of making positive change through leadership, service, and innovation. In the Willamette classroom, students meet in small groups where highly engaged faculty lead primarily experiential-based classes. Small groups interact, and classes are designed to help students develop the important skills that will see them through their lives and careers. Skills like critical thinking, creative problem solving, and the ability to consider varied perspectives. Our faculty are accomplished scholars. They research, write, and publish extensively, but first and foremost, they are teachers. Willamette faculty serve as mentors, helping students really learn to learn so they can grow and change the world around them, and so they can change as the world around them changes. It's no wonder Willamette has more Oregon Professors of the Year than any other college in the state by quite a margin. We feel strongly that the incredible classroom environment at Willamette is critically supported by experiential and co-curricular activities. Things like study abroad, hands-on research, and internships are the interactive out-of-classroom experiences that all Willamette students participate in. Our unique location contributes significantly to our ability to provide these types of opportunities. So let me tell you a little bit about our place in the world. We are an urban campus set in the center of Salem's quaint downtown corridor. And we are the only campus in the nation that sits directly across the street, 76 feet to be exact, from the Oregon State Capitol building. You can imagine the internship possibilities that abound for our students in everything from politics to economics to psychology and data science, simply because of our proximity to and long relationship with state government. Also unique to our location is the positioning of Salem Health, one of Oregon's largest hospitals, which is directly adjacent to campus. Our thriving pre-med program is well supported by our proximity to this medical resource. Willamette also owns a 305-acre learning laboratory called Xena, where students can literally dig in the dirt of this unique region, restoring habitats, practicing in forestry study, and even growing vegetables. Finally, Willamette is co-located with Tokyo International University. The American Studies program brings 100 Japanese students to live and learn with us in Salem each year. And this program is a great reminder of Willamette's strong commitment to all things international. We value the experiential learning that comes from the exchange students who share our campus, as well as the amazing opportunities that students find while participating in the 66 study abroad programs that we offer. As you can see, Willamette is physically located in such a way that we are literally surrounded by opportunities for our students to extend their learning beyond campus. There's so much more to say, but before my 6 minutes are up, I just want to mention that Willamette uses the Common Application. We review applications holistically, and we've been fully test optional for several years now. We never charge a fee to apply because we don't want that to be a barrier for students who are seeking access to Willamette. And every applicant is considered for our generous financial aid awards. Willamette encourages applications from bright, diverse, and prepared students, those who want to make an impact and interact with challenging ideas. If you want to be part of the deep traditions and history that have made Willamette the shaper of innovative leaders, I hope you'll take the time to learn more about us. Visit our website and our extensive virtual visit opportunities, and we'll talk more in the future about in-person opportunities to visit. And I'll drop this information into the chat so you can get a hold of me there. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. And if attendees have questions, use the Q&A button. You can still do that if you have any. And plus, as was mentioned, look in the chat for information that the reps are sending you. Now I'm going to ask each of our reps to turn on their cameras and microphones. I get to play talk show host in the remaining 5 minutes here and do a quick little Q&A. We'll round robin and have you answer in the same order that you presented. And the first question we'll have, if we have time for more than one, is what one piece of advice would you give someone going through the college search process right now? We'll start with Northern Arizona University.
Perfect, thank you. My piece of advice would be to use both your college counselors and your admissions counselors that you see on the screen here, or from any other colleges or universities you may be looking at. We are not used car salesmen. While yes, we all want you to attend our university, we most importantly want you to find the college or university that's the best fit for you. And even we, for our prospective universities, will help point you in the right direction.
Prescott College.
I think we could all agree that Tyler is 100% spot on. My number two thing would always be visit the colleges that you're looking at. You're never going to get a true feel for community and place unless you go visit. Virtual visits are awesome. They are a great opportunity, but they're kind of really only half the battle. I would definitely say in your early college search process, do the virtual visits, check with your counselors like myself and everyone else here and see, hey, do you do guided virtual tours? And then after you get that, physically go travel to that place, because that's really where you're going to see, yes, this is the place for me, or no, this is not the right fit.
Central Oregon Community College.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all of that. And as well as just knowing your values, this is a big decision for you. And so knowing the size of the school you want, how much it costs and how much you're wanting to pay, whether that be in financial aid or the scholarship opportunities at that place. And yeah, visiting the campuses is another big thing. Each college has a feel and you want it to fit you and your personality. So that is definitely my best advice, is values and visiting campus as well.
Lewis and Clark College.
I echo everything that my fellow panelists have said. They've all gotten it right. But I will also add that really keeping an open mind, I think, is so important. Maybe you've heard of a school, so you think that that's the right place for you. But there are some really great institutions that maybe don't have the same, huge name recognition or big sports teams, but that still could be a really good fit for you. So keep an open mind, try to experience a lot of different places and figure out which is a good fit through that process.
Reed College.
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say other than what everyone has said already? I will add a couple things. We are here, us counselors are here as your advocates. And you should start the process with that mindset that we are here to find as many ways to advocate for you as possible. So when you are, if there's any part of the application process that seems evaluative, like an interview or anytime you are interacting with a counselor, think of it as a two-way street. Think of it as a time for you to gather information about the college as well, because we're all here to help you find the place that is going to work for you.
And Willamette College.
Great, thank you. I mean, everybody's said really, really good, valuable points. The only other thing I would add is start thinking now about kind of your own accomplishments throughout your high school career, and maybe I'm a spreadsheet person, so I would put out, what are my involvements outside of school, for example, because when you're filling out the application, you'll be asked to provide us some insight into how you're spending your time when you're not in class, right? So keeping a list of what your activities are, organize yourself while you still have time before you're sitting down to fill out the actual application. And then the process of completing applications, I think, will be a little bit simpler at that point. So just one little tactical piece there that might be helpful for down the road.
Thank you for sharing all that great advice and all of the information about each of your schools. And I want to thank our attendees for joining us. When you close this window, there's a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of many sessions being hosted, including some coming up in about 15 minutes. So be sure to sign up for more if you haven't done so already at the same place you signed up for this one. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/SSDA. Once again, thank you to all of our representatives for sharing that great information. And thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Take care.